sale. Who wants it?
So I'm gonna apologize now for any wind noise or any cars driving by, but it's probably gonna happen. Deal with it, because I guess I kind of have to as well. But here it is. This is our 2001 Jeep Cherokee XJ. I've had this thing for way over 20 years. Had this thing a long time. Love it. It has been a great vehicle for our shop. It's just time to move on to other things. We are finally going to be putting this up for sale. I've been kind of tinkering with it for about the last 2 years, freshening it all up. I'm going to go through everything we've done to it, tell you everything about it. It is for sale. Price will be in the description. And if you are seriously interested, don't waste my time, but if you're seriously interested, you can call the shop, you can email the shop, you can leave me a message down below, whatever you want. Cherokee's going up for sale. We did sell the Comanche, so it's time for this one to go now. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this Jeep. It's an 01 Cherokee, 4-liter AW4 231T case, but not much is stock on this vehicle. I've had it for over 20 years. It's never been driven in the winter, never seen salt, not a spot of rust on this thing. I did have to put a driver's floor pan in it, and that's because a log come up through the floor and tried to kill me one day. This cage, a lot of people don't like cages, some do. This cage is fully removable. There's a joint here. There's joints all along the bottom of this. This cage is fully removable if you don't like the cage. The powder coating on the cage, the bumpers and the sliders is brand spanking new. We just finished the powder coat. It has a brand new paint job. It is not a show quality paint job. It is an extremely nice paint job. Door bars are sacrificial, we'll call them. You hit these, you will wrinkle the doors, but it stops you from completely destroying the doors. I have destroyed doors. They're not the original doors because I've gone through several sets over the years. But the cage is completely removable. We started with some JCR sliders that we heavily modified way back in the day. So along with the JCR sliders, this is our bumper we did. Let's see, it's our rear bumper. It's got a swing away tire carrier. You pull that pin, this bar folds down. You pull that pin, tire carrier opens. We'll show you how that works in just a second. There's a lot to go over on this vehicle. It's got brand spanking new Milestar Panagonia 37 MTs. There's probably about 40 miles on them. Walker Evans forged beadlocks, not the cheaper version. We'll go underneath the drivetrain here in a little bit. So really quick here, we'll have Blake show us how this tire carrier works. Right here is where you mount your license plate.
This swings right out. I'm gonna set these on the tire for the time being. Pull the top one. It's got some pressure on it. And then the bottom one. The old tire carrier swings.
The interior on this is absolutely mint. It maybe could use carpet just because it's old, but it's still in really darn good shape. We got the little JCR plate right here that makes this a usable storage space. Washer fluid reservoirs back here. I did this just to make sure there was no leaks. We had a hose that I had to replace. We relocated the washer fluid reservoir back here. Got dual fire extinguishers. Brand spanking new headliner. Just did that. Very nice interior. Like I said, it could maybe use carpet. If we had a super serious buyer, I would even consider replacing the carpet for them. I did modify the tunnel here. I made it flat. I carried 2 spare drive shafts with me, one front, one rear. So it does have spare drive shafts that go with it. And I actually have a pile of spare parts that go with this vehicle. Up front, very, very nice Jeep. Seats are in really good shape. Little bit of splitting right here. Here, I'll tuck that back down there. A little bit of splitting right here. You can either do seat covers or run it, or get them redone. It's got the WeatherTech floor liners. Custom steering wheel. Airbag is deleted. The steering wheel is removable. It has a key to remove the steering wheel. Right there, we have the locker switches. So one turns on the compressor, one turns on the rear air locker. It says rear, but it's actually the front air locker. The rear has a Detroit locker. JVC stereo. No rear view mirror because, well, there's a tire in the way, so I never bothered. The air compressor is over there in the dash where the old passenger airbag used to be, so that's where the air compressor is. Did a custom mount in there for it. So here's the passenger side. This seat's not been sat in as much. There are lap belts, so if you're doing a lot of hardcore off-roading and you don't want the traditional belt trying to choke you, there are lap belts that are mounted using the seat bolts. Factory owner's manual. So one other interesting feature is that this door lock switch and window switch, they do not function on either door. Reason being, these doors are removable, and I have half doors. I will show you a picture. This runs your windows, this runs your locks. So your windows and your locks are all custom wired to this dash or the center console. Because again, I have half doors for this that I custom built. They are super sweet. They are included with the sale. And I have a lot of spare parts that go with this vehicle too. I have like spare alternators and starters and shafts and all sorts of stuff. It has a Warn VR10S winch, has a factor 55 thimble, aluminum fair lead, LED headlights. I believe those are Genrite hood vents. All right, let's pop the hood and see what we got. So here under the hood, we have a JCR battery tie down and battery tray. We have a stock 4-liter. We have the Spectrum cowl intake. I love it. That thing has been super awesome over the years. It has a aftermarket board throttle body and throttle body spacer. Otherwise, it's pretty stock under here. We did an aluminum valve cover, so we get tired of the valve covers leaking, the cheap chintzy tin stock valve covers. Other than that, it's pretty much stock under the hood. Never really needed much more than that, to be honest with you. This thing's done a lot of rock crawling in its life. A lot of rock crawling in its life. All right, here we are at the front suspension, front axle. These are Curry high pinion 8.8 removable center section axles, front and rear. It's got 30 spline shafts inner, 31 spline shafts outer. It's got JCR 1-ton steering. The front is an ARB air locker. It's got Rusty's Off-Road true 4-link front suspension with track bar. It's got Rusty's Off-Road sway bar disconnects. Nice brakes, nice ball joints. This is a street of a vehicle. It runs and drives down the road good. That being said, if you're gonna drive this all the time, you're gonna wanna change that axle joint that's in there. That axle joint is a solid alloy joint. There's no bearings in it. This was built for off-road use. That would be about the only thing I would say you have to change to drive this all the time. I never built and intended this vehicle to be a daily driver. I built this to be an off-road machine. That being said, I've went through and rebuilt all of the suspension. I've rebuilt all of the steering. It's got brand new Rusty's RX 900 shocks on it. All the 4-link is literally brand new. And I set it up so that it drives really, really nice down the road. But if you're gonna wanna drive this every day, you're gonna need to change those axle joints because those are designed for off-road, not on-road use. Everything else would be fine to go. If we had a serious buyer on the line that wanted to put money down, I would change those out for them. Not a big deal. And they could even keep the old joints because they're really expensive. Those solid alloy joints are very expensive. So I'm gonna show you the rear suspension now. So here's the rear. Same Curry axle, Rusty's shocks, Rusty's leaf springs, nice brakes, nice custom exhaust. It's got 1310 CV shafts front and rear. It's got the super short SYE kit from Advanced Adapters. The whole entire sides are completely covered in skid plates. It's got the TK skid, engine skid, like I said, full custom exhaust. Look how clean this chassis is. So it has been used. There's some major dents right there, huh? That was a rock. That was definitely a rock. That was a big one. But there's no rust. Zero anywhere. It's beautiful under here. So it's got 800 series shocks in the rear, 900 series shocks in the front. There's a good angle of the front axle. You want the keys?
Yeah.
Oh, the ones you gave me?
Yeah.
It's been sitting for a few days. It's been sitting for a few days. We're gonna charge that battery back up. So way back in the day, I used to do some little local rock crawling with this. So right here is a good picture, a good view of the half doors. Here we go, right there. So if anybody's interested, get a hold of me here at the shop. Cherokee is for sale. It is turnkey, ready to go, drives, clean title, my name. If you need anything, just give us a shout, give us a call.